Hey everyone, welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're unpacking the simple, everyday tax mistakes that are quietly costing people time, stress, and honestly, some serious money. I'm really thrilled you're joining me because, let's face it, tax season can feel incredibly overwhelming for absolutely anyone. But as you'll see today, the most common pitfalls aren't these crazy, complex legal loopholes. They're just simple, everyday errors. We're going to keep this moving fast, so stick around, because what you don't know about your tax return could literally be draining your wallet. Are you making one of these mistakes right now? Let's find out. I want you to picture this. Imagine an ultra-realistic stack of physical receipts just completely taking over your desk. You spend hours preparing your return, right? Double-checking your numbers, gathering every single document. You hit submit with total confidence. But then weeks later, a delay, or worse, a dreaded notice shows up in the mail. I remember the absolute panic of experiencing this myself a few years ago. My heart completely dropped into my stomach. I thought I was totally in the clear, but a tiny, silly oversight derailed my entire refund process. So what actually goes wrong in these situations?
Well, that brings us to Section 1, the cost of carelessness. Simple errors, massive headaches.
I know that sheer panic of opening the mailbox and seeing an official tax notice, but the frustrating, wild truth here is that millions of people make these surprisingly simple errors every single year. You really don't have to be bad at math to fall into these traps. These mistakes happen simply because the tax code is complex, and frankly, our lives are incredibly busy. These are tiny errors that snowball into massive headaches, eating up your precious time and causing totally unnecessary stress. But the good news? Most of these pitfalls are entirely preventable once you know they're coming. By just knowing what to look out for, you instantly put yourself way ahead of the pack.
Now, we're going to count down these hazards, and you absolutely must stay with me until the very end. Why? Because the final mistake we cover is one of the most expensive, most common traps out there. It's like a silent killer for your finances, and it catches incredibly smart people completely off guard every year. You really don't want to miss it.
Moving right along to Section 2, Document and Data Disasters. Because, as always, the devil's in the details.
Okay, let's dive into this and draw out our first trap step by step. Filing with incorrect personal information. Think of your tax return kind of like watching a live drawing map out the blueprints of a house. It all starts with the basic building blocks of your identity. If that foundation is cracked, the whole house comes tumbling down. We've all been in a rush and made typos, sure, but these minor spelling errors, bad bank info, or wrong social security numbers, they create massive, massive delays. A simple transposed letter in your name or a missing digit in your routing number means your refund gets kicked straight into limbo. And limbo means your money sits in a government queue for 6 to 8 agonizing months, while they mail you physical letters just to verify your identity.
Now, technology definitely helps reduce mistakes, but human beings are still the ones typing in these figures. Think about how just one, literally a single wrong digit in your data entry or misplaced decimal point can completely throw off your entire tax return. One tiny slip of the finger on your keyboard can turn a guaranteed $2,000 refund into a terrifying tax bill. No joke. The sheer power of a single number entered incorrectly just cannot be overstated when you're dealing with rigid, automated processing systems. Check out this quote. "A missing document today can create a bigger problem tomorrow." I love this because it hits the nail on the head regarding a huge temptation we all face: the urge to just start filing early with only partial information. Guys, don't do it. If you start filing before you gather all your paperwork, you seriously risk missing critical income forms. And filing incomplete reports basically guarantees you'll be filing an amendment later. That's a secondary, highly scrutinized tax return that takes twice as long to process and forces you to deal with this miserable chore all over again. So it's extremely easy to just assume you're completely done once the forms are filled out. But what happens if you just rush through without looking deeper? What happens when you breeze past the most crucial part of your entire return? You might have all your personal data perfectly accurate and all your basic income documents uploaded, but if you hit submit right now, you might be making a grave financial error. Let me show you exactly what you might be leaving behind.
Which brings us to Section 3, Leaving Your Money Behind, Missing Valuable Deductions.
This is the mistake where so many people unintentionally leave their own hard-earned money right on the table. And honestly, this is the part that breaks my heart to see. We work so hard for our money all year long, and then, out of sheer tax season fatigue, we literally just hand it back. Rushing through the process without reviewing potential deductions and credits leads directly to smaller refunds and larger tax bills. Maybe it's a forgotten student loan interest deduction or a missed credit for energy-efficient home upgrades. You miss out on critical savings opportunities simply because you didn't check a box or take 5 extra minutes to review the rules. You are essentially tipping the government with your own money. And this divide is fascinating. So many people just focus on getting it over with, right? It's a mindset of pure survival. You're just trying to cross a stressful task off your to-do list. But successful taxpayers? They operate with a mindset of strategy, focusing intensely on filing accurately. The divide between those two mindsets is exactly where wealth is either built or lost. But why do we fall into that rushed survival mindset in the first place? What triggers this rush?
Let's find out in Section 4, the procrastination penalty. Time is not your friend. We always think we have more time than we actually do. But as the clock ticks down to tax day, a psychological shift happens that absolutely sabotages your ability to file a clean return. As deadlines approach, pressure spikes, and that stress directly affects your judgment, causing you to overlook documents and skip careful review. It's a total vicious cycle. Last-minute filing breeds pressure. Pressure breeds errors. When you're sweating over a midnight deadline, you simply aren't going to catch that missing decimal point, and that leads to the very thing we all dread the most.
So, what do you actually do when the dreaded tax notice finally arrives? Because if that pressure leads to an error, you probably will get a notice. I've seen so many people panic and just completely avoid reading it, which, spoiler alert, only creates a much larger problem. Have you ever gotten one of those hyper-realistic, scary-looking official envelopes? Your heart starts racing. I've been there. My very first instinct was literally to throw it in a drawer and pretend it didn't exist, but avoidance is a massive trap. When that scary envelope arrives, your instinct is to hide. But listen to me, not every notice means trouble. Sometimes they literally just need clarification. Not every letter is a full-blown audit. Often they just need you to verify a single missing piece of information. By opening that envelope and facing it immediately, you take back your power, clear up the confusion, and resolve the issue quickly before any crazy penalties can accumulate. Ignoring communication rarely, if ever, improves the situation.
All right, we've reached that critical moment. Are you ready for the final, most expensive mistake? You've stuck with me this far, and I promised you a massive reveal. This is the underlying mistake that ties all of this anxiety together, making every single other problem we've talked about 10 times worse. Are you doing this? Let's uncover it right now. It is failing to keep organized records. Seriously, good record keeping is easily the most underrated financial habit in existence. Failing to keep records makes verifying information, supporting your deductions, and resolving questions incredibly difficult and time-consuming. Imagine being asked by the authorities to prove a business expense from 3 years ago. You dig out an old shoebox only to realize the receipt was printed on that cheap thermal paper and it is completely faded into a blank white square. Boom. Without records, you have no proof, you have no defense. Resolving even a minor question turns into a monumental nightmare.
Okay, let's fix this. Section 5, your accuracy action plan. Small habits, big improvements. The really good news here is that awareness changes everything. Now that we know all the pitfalls, from typos and procrastination to terrible record keeping, let's pivot and build your personal defense system. By following a few consolidated steps, you trade speed for total accuracy. Ready? Start early and gather documents. Review your personal info carefully. Double-check those numbers. Keep organized records. Read all correspondence. And finally, slow down. If you do these things, you will eliminate the vast majority of errors that plague millions of other people. And notice that very last step? It's the most important one of the whole bunch.
So, the crucial point to take away today is that most of these errors aren't caused by a lack of intelligence. Not at all. They're simply caused by stress, poor organization, and rushing. We have to retrain our brains here. The best tax strategy in the world isn't about how fast you can hit submit. It is purely about accuracy. Taking a breath, double-checking your work, and slowing down, that is your ultimate superpower.
Small mistakes clearly have big consequences, for sure. But as you can see, small habits create massive financial improvements. A few extra minutes of review can potentially save hours of frustration later. I want you to think of those extra minutes as an investment. You are effectively paying yourself a super high hourly rate just by proofreading your own work. It is literally the easiest, most reliable money you will ever save during the entire year.
Hey, if you found this explainer valuable, make sure to absolutely smash that subscribe button for NexClaim. We do deep dives into consumer protection, taxes, personal finance, insurance, and investing. We are constantly building these dynamic guides to help you protect your hard-earned money from hidden traps and banking pitfalls. Hit subscribe so you never miss out on these essential blueprints for your financial future.
Before we wrap up, I really want to hear about your personal experiences. Tell me in the comments down below, what is the absolute biggest tax filing mistake you've ever made, or maybe almost made? Don't be shy, as we've learned today, millions of people make them. Your story might just be the exact warning someone else needs to hear to avoid a massive headache. Share your experience below. Because remember, the only thing more expensive than paying your taxes is paying for your tax mistakes. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll see you in the next explainer.